If there's ever a game that highlights our poor recruitment, it's this. Chelsea Football Club is now being run as a business rather than a football club, and that game against Manchester City shows exactly why. When Clear Lake first come into this building, they were handed a pot of gold. A club like Chelsea, with all their history, all their success, with no debt and £1 billion to spend, this is what they've given us. This is what we've given us. That game highlighted everything amateur about Chelsea Football Club at the minute, and the recruitment doesn't seem to be getting better. And I'm all happy about bringing youngsters into the football club. If anybody knows me from Twitter, you know my expertise is finding the young gems and bringing them through. That's what I love, but there needs to be some balance. You need to have some born winners in your club. You need to have some elite mentality athletes at your football club in order for these young gems to nurture the way they are. And the way Chelsea are getting ran at the minute is simply a business. Now, I don't know where to start with this game because there's a lot of things to dissect, but I want to start by Enzo Maresca's comments. Why are Chelsea Football Club accepting just mediocre performances, mediocre decisions, and it just blows my mind. Enzo Maresca went on to say after this game, in my opinion, I think we are a better team than we were 2 months ago. That is absolute nonsense. These types of games will make us better, which I understand because you learn from your mistakes, and the more experience you get, the better you will become. I get that comment. We need to live with this experience. We can be third or whatever. First of all, you're definitely not a better team than you were a month ago. And 1 month ago, we played Everton away from home. If we won that game, we would have went top of the league. Now we're sitting seventh or sixth, it might be one of them, but it simply is not good enough for where we were. Picked up one win since that game against Everton. It's simply not good enough for a club like Chelsea. And this run of games we had was the games where we were expecting to drop points in just one game. But we were lucky to scrape a draw against Bournemouth. Now, I'm taking nothing away from Bournemouth because they've been fantastic. But these comments like this is a big psychological factor to the players. This makes players think that they're automatically, instantly, psychologically, in the back of their minds, they're thinking that top four, whatever it might be, isn't achievable because we're not there yet. Next season, we're going to be there. That's not a way to speak about your performances, speak about your club, speak about your team. If I'm in charge, I'd be saying we weren't good enough today. These comments like this are reminders of Eric Ten Hag at Man United, and I'm literally comparing Chelsea to Man United. It's simply not good enough. Now, before we talk about the game and where it went wrong, there's another thing I want to bring up, and that's just how the game went. We were handed a perfect start against Manchester City. Man City, there's a blueprint on how to beat Manchester City, and we just didn't do that. We're handed a perfect start, and then we showed Man City too much respect. If you show Man City too much respect, these are an elite football club with elite players. They will pick you apart, and that's exactly what we did. That performance was simply not good enough for Chelsea. I accept the player misplacing the pass or making the wrong decisions once or twice. I accept that. But when there's a lack of intensity, aggression, maturity, which is a key one, composure and decision making, that's when it flips my mind. And then what Maresca did the exact opposite of what he should have done in this game. He changed to a man-for-man pressing when we were 1-1. And that just completely killed us and forced us into mistakes because there was no communication, there was no togetherness, there was simply no in-game management from Enzo Maresca. So let's look at the game itself and where it went wrong. So Chelsea pretty much were defending in a 4-4-2 shape, or at times 5-3-2. At times, but mainly throughout the game, it was a 4-4-2 shape, which isn't bad against Man City. What Chelsea were looking to do is compact the central areas because Man City are the best team in the world at finding pockets of space, receiving the ball on the half turn and playing between the lines that way. So we wanted to squeeze the pitch, make it compact and pretty much protect the central areas. We wanted no space between our centre-backs and midfielders and strikers. Now, what does that allow City to do? That allows City to use the width, and boy, did they use the width. So if we take this image, for example, we were marking space here, which isn't too bad, but the pink is their defenders, the green is their midfielders, in the blue is their wing backs. Now, what they did was push their wing backs high and wide, but their wing backs didn't stay wide. They come in into the inside channels. Now, Marc Cucurella's body shape is completely wrong. I'm sorry. Jadon Sancho needs to come out here for starters because it protects her. If Bernardo Silva receives a ball there, that's no problem. They can do that. They can have the ball there because they're not creating any danger. It's when you got runners like this that causes the danger. Now, look where Nunes ends up, right on Marc Cucurella. I'll take it back to this image. Marc Cucurella gets caught ball watching here. Just look at Levi Colwill as well. He's in line with everybody there, right? Watch Nunes here. He comes. This is their first goal, by the way. Nunes is here. Levi Colwill steps out. Now, as soon as Levi Colwill steps out, everybody else has got to step out and we'll catch him offside. We'll get caught, lack of concentration, ball watching, and Cucurella had no idea Nunes was going to run into that space. He had no idea. And then Nunes gets in that space. Well, I've got an image somewhere. There's Nunes again. So Levi Colwill's there. He's just about to step out there. Moses Caicedo should be in this area. If we're marking space, Mamouche, who had a terrific debut, by the way, should not have that much space. Moses Caicedo should be about here, just in line with the referee, because if the ball goes in there, he can cut that out, and that stops Levi Colwill coming out this space, which stops Nunes running into that space. Now, Marc Cucurella's body shape there is completely wrong. Completely wrong. And it's just these simple mistakes that are costing us games. And I haven't even spoke about Robert Sanchez yet. So if you look, Nunes gets through, Gundogan plays the ball over, Sanchez makes a save, and then Guardiola gets in. Now, their wing-backs were doing this all day. They were starting out wide and attacking the inside channels, and we didn't switch on to it. And this is what I'm talking about, Enzo Maresca's in-game management, because the first thing I would have said at half-time or 30 minutes into the first half is we need to cut that out. We need to cut that out. And the way you do that is by allowing your fullbacks to get a bit wider, so they can track their runners. Because when they're running off the blind side of them, you've got absolutely no chance to track your runners because they've instantly got a head start on you. So just little things like that, in-game management from the player's perspective and the manager's perspective, need to be better. We're giving City too much. So Man City were brilliant at creating overloads, which just absolutely nullified everything we wanted to do defensively. So if we go back to this image, once again, he's starting positions high and wide, and then he creeps in on the shoulder of Marc Cucurella, and then he's in on goal. And then look at Guardiola. Look at Guardiola. These are two fullbacks that are both their most advanced players, and that's how Man City cut through Chelsea. Now, the frustrating thing about Chelsea is they didn't address this. What they did is they went to a man-to-man pressing in the second half, and that just opened up so much space. It's suicidal going to a man-to-man pressing against a team like Man City because their speed of thought is a lot better. They're excelling one-on-one situations, and they're so good at exploiting space. So as soon as you go to a man-to-man pressing against Man City, they'll cut you apart because they're so good at packing players. There's a terminology in football called packing players, and what that just literally means eliminating a player, the opposition player, out of the game. So, for example, Ederson packed all these players by going long to Erling Haaland. It meant Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer, Jadon Sancho were all eliminated out of the game, and then that allowed Erling Haaland to create a one-on-one against Trevor Chalobah, and we all know what happened. So going to a man-to-man pressing was the wrong thing to do from Enzo Maresca. I'm sorry, I like Enzo Maresca. I hate what he says sometimes, and I've enjoyed watching his football, and I think 9 times out of 10 he's made the right decision. But going to a man-to-man pressing against a team like City, they're too good to man-to-man press against. Now, what we need to do is just adjust our pressing system, but continue to mark space like we did in the first half. So this is why we're getting caught out continuously, and we look like even their third goal, Phil Foden was in 8 gaza of space, and that's because we went to a man-to-man pressing and we couldn't track the runners because Man City are so good at getting on the blind side of players, and that's exactly what happened. So some of this, I know there was errors in the game, but some of this has to go on Enzo Maresca. The errors in the game, Robert Sanchez, my God, I do not understand why Enzo Maresca keeps on backing this guy. Honestly, this guy is going to cost Chelsea top four, and it just simply is not good enough. His shot stopping's okay at times, but his decision making is absolutely atrocious. Now, if we go to this image here, right, he's got absolutely no right to go for this ball. He's got no right to go for this ball. If he stays in his correct position, Erling Haaland doesn't score, and that just gives us a mountain to climb. Erling Haaland's putting Trevor Chalobah in a one-on-one situation. That's dangerous. It really is. But we've got 1, 2, 3 players that will cover. Because Erling Haaland could just shimmy to the left, open up a yard of space. He had the execution just to lift the ball over Robert Sanchez. If he's 5 yards deeper, makes the right decision, that goal is completely unavoidable. Look at this image. He's got no right to risk to get to that ball. What makes you think you're going to get to that ball before Erling Haaland? That is just absolutely mind-blowing. You wouldn't even say this Sunday League football. You would not say this in Sunday League football, and this is what I'm talking about. These decisions are costing Chelsea Football Club points and possibly top four. And then you've just got to look at the profile of the players in the squad. We're crying out for a goalkeeper, crying out for a striker. We could easily recall Leslie Ugochukwu or Andre Santos just to give us more depth in midfield, because we look legless today. We look so tired, just mentally and physically, all round today, that it was easy for Man City. We made it easy for Man City. Man City are a vulnerable side that are doubting themselves, and we made them. They didn't even have to get out of second gear today to look good, and that's the worry. And what makes it even more uncomfortable is that we're in for Garnacho instead of addressing the problems in the squad. If this just doesn't give the recruitment team a wake-up call, I don't know what does. Now, I said right at the start of the video, I don't mind signing youngsters. Estevo, Andre Santos, I don't mind signing youngsters, but you've got to have balance in your squad. You need experienced players to help these youngsters grow and nurture them into more experienced and elite footballers, because all the Chelsea players, technically, they're excellent footballers. You can't doubt their technical ability. But what changes a good player to an elite player at the elite level is decision making. That's one of the most fundamental things in football. And there's one thing that I like in a football, across a 90 minutes football game. There's different scenarios, different theories that you've got to work out in your mind, that you've got to set, that you've got to deliver on, different outcomes in scenarios. There's moments in games where you need to be compact, defensive, or there's moments in games where you need to be expressive, for example. So you've got to have different philosophy for different moments of the games. And Chelsea don't have that, and that's causing them too much problems. They're not very good in defensive transitions because they haven't got that maturity to acknowledge when to be compact or what to do in different situations. And that's what's costing Chelsea problems. It's not because of bad players, it's because they're making the wrong decisions. And that's what a manager needs to work out. And a manager's in-game management is crucial to points. And once again, that takes us back to this comment, because with this comments like this, players will begin to believe that this is acceptable. This is exactly what's happening at Manchester United. Now, I'm not saying Chelsea are going to be 13th anytime soon, because I generally don't believe that. But what I'm saying is, tell them when they're not good enough. Give them that kick up the arse that they do need. Tell them that we need to be reaching top four, because the players will strive for that, and they'll be disappointed when they don't get it. For as long as you keep on saying we're not ready for top four, it will instantly, psychologically, without even wanting to do, will be in the players' minds that finishing sixth, oh, it's okay because we're going to finish fourth next season. No, we need fourth this season. It's a priority, at least. This is exactly why I was saying we're not good enough to challenge for the title. For lack of maturity, the in-game management from both players and the manager just isn't good enough yet. And until we bring some ruthless, experienced players into the squad, it won't be good enough. Now, I want to talk about Nicholas Jackson. I think his all-round game is quite good. I think throughout the 60 minutes, he had a decent game, didn't have a great game, but there was that one chance where you've just got to hit it with your left foot. Just hit it with your left foot, and you will score. I don't know what he was thinking, and that just shows the confidence. Now, there's one thing I think Nicholas Jackson lacks, and it's box presence. A lot of people think a box presence is being big, physical. It's not. It's having that intelligence. Do you get across your man? Do you make space for yourself? Are you good at going on the blind side of defenders? And one thing Nicholas Jackson lacks is anticipation. Look at every striker when the ball doesn't come in first time. They get annoyed because he anticipate where the ball's going to go. Nicholas Jackson's too static. You never see him getting across his man. That's the 101 of any striker. You never see him anticipating balls or crosses. Even watch, even when Noni Manuiki's on the right or Jadon Sancho's on the left, and they go to deliver, but they chop and come inside. Watch Nicholas Jackson. He doesn't anticipate them delivering the ball. You've got to anticipate, because the more static you are, the less likely you are of scoring. And that's what I'd be working on Nicholas Jackson every single day. Get him moving in that box. Teach him how to create separation. Teach him how to anticipate where a ball's going to go. A lot of strikers earn their luck from being in the right place at the right time. It's not a coincidence. It's because they've got good anticipation, got good instincts. That's what Nicholas Jackson lacks. And he's ball striking, to be fair. But look, enough from me. I want to hear from you guys. If you agree with me, drop a comment in the below. If you think that that was just a one-off, drop a comment in the below. But look, I want to hear from you. Let us know how you feel about that game. And we've got West Ham next. I can see the headlines now. Graham Potter, the Magic Man, comes back to haunt Chelsea. Harry Potter, the Magic Man, comes back to haunt Chelsea. I can see it now. Look, drop me a comment in the below. I want to hear your thoughts. But until next time, away the lads.